We're here at Relay for Life in Clifton, and I'm here with Amanda, one of our staff partners for this year's 2019 Relay for Life. So thank you, Amanda, for coming and really being a part of our biggest fight that we have here in Clifton. So we really want to talk a little bit about American Cancer Society. Sorry for putting you on the spot like this, but
totally fine.
Clifton is like one of the big leaders in American Cancer Society. We've really raised a lot of money. So one of the questions I really wanted to just have a conversation with you about is how has American Cancer Society, using the funds to find a cure?
Right. So I think something that we always try to really express at the American Cancer Society is we attack cancer from every angle. So money goes to many different things. It goes to research, it goes to access to care, it goes to getting people to treatment. But I know that the focus really is on research. And so a lot of the money, while it goes nationally, we do have 6 funded grants right here in New Jersey, and New Jersey being a pretty small state, that's a lot of grants. Just locally, but something that I also really try and express is that research anywhere helps people everywhere. So research in, that you raise money at anywhere else, Michigan, anywhere, all this research is going to go and help everybody in the country, in the world, not just. But it's amazing that a town like Clifton, in a pretty small state like New Jersey, can do such an enormous job. This is the 15th year that this relay's been going on.
This is our 15 years.
We're so grateful. I myself am a Clifton resident. Well, not anymore, I moved. But I grew up in Clifton, was born and raised in Clifton. My grandmother passed away of breast cancer when she was only 55 here in Clifton. So that's kind of what brought me here to this job. But I also think that what the American Cancer Society does and what it stands for is really what brought me to this job, because all this money that you're spending, that you're raising, that you're working all year for is going to those research. We have 50 staff, internal staff researchers in our Atlanta office. So we have internal researchers that are working specifically for the American Cancer Society, and then on top of that we give out about 800 grants a year across the United States. So again, to express, all that research is helping people everywhere.
Right.
Yes.
It's not just, we're raising, our goal here is $60,000. I know one year we raised $100,000, and when I talk to residents in Clifton, they're saying we've really raised a lot of money, but we never asked where is it going, and so I really thank you for really expressing how that you're spending the money, and I like that where you're saying that it's everywhere. It's not just it's not going to Clifton, Clifton, it's not all coming to Clifton, but it's going worldwide. So we're looking for a cure, and I know that American Cancer Society is one of the #1 not-for-profit organizations.
Yes. We're the top nonprofit organizations in research for cancer, only after the government. So the government is the only place that gives out more grants than the American Cancer Society in terms of cancer research. So that's huge. I mean,
I don't think people know that.
Yeah, we're called the American Cancer Society for a reason. We've been around for many years, and we truly are very transparent. We are very donor-centric, so every dollar that comes in, we do our best to make sure that it's getting to research, it's getting to access to care, because on top of all that money that's going to research and these amazing scientists that are so smart and do these amazing things that I could never do, I'm just kind of sent out to raise the money. We do have amazing opportunities that a lot of people probably don't even know about. So we have our Hope Lodges. So we have 32 Hope Lodges throughout the country where if you live within if you live 40 miles away from your physician or your doctor or your hospital where you have to get treatment, you can stay in one of our Hope Lodges for free with your caregiver. A lot of people don't know that we have these, and they're totally free. It's basically kind of like a dorm. So you have to kind of you cook your food, but we have volunteers that come in and make dinner for people all the time, and we have our Road to Recovery program. And a lot of people think, oh, I have insurance, I have family, I have support, I don't need these things. But sometimes you're in a bind and you can't get home from your treatment because you don't feel good or you're too sick to drive home. We have people that will pick you up and drive you, and it's just maybe just a friendly ear to listen to. Maybe you don't want to put your burdens on your daughter or your husband all the time. By utilizing these programs, we have a free wig program, so you can come to any office in the American Cancer Society and get fitted for a wig by stylists who volunteer their time. So the research is so important because it's what's going to make the change. I know that our CEO just released something, and don't totally quote me on the stats, but he did just release something that's saying in he's setting a new goal for 2032 to really reduce cancer rates.
Read that.
Yes. So we're setting long-term goals because a lot of times this research, we give out a grant in 2019, and these things take forever. These things science takes a long time.
5 years, 10 years.
You
won't see the results
exactly.
of that.
So the money, the $60,000 that Clifton is raising in 2019 can theoretically fund a researcher that in 10 years is going to save someone's life. Right. So you might not always see that immediate turnaround, but it's huge and it's really, really making a difference. It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
So awesome. So we have, this is, like I said, this is our 15th year. How long have you been doing, as a staff partner, how long have you been with the American Cancer Society?
So I've actually been with the American Cancer Society only a short time. I've been here since October, so the end of 2018. But I've been involved in nonprofits for the last 10 years. I actually used to work at the Avon Walk for Breast Cancer, and I participated in about 10 of those myself. So this is something that's been true to my heart. Like I said, my mother is here with me today. Her mother passed away at 55 of breast cancer. And I say this all the time. It was 1988 when she passed away. I truly believe that if she was diagnosed now, because of what the American Cancer Society has done, she would have survived or would have lived longer. Because that's another thing is, not only is the research going into, yes, finding a cure for this horrible, horrible disease, but it's also the research is going into making the lives of cancer patients better, giving them a better prognosis, making them survivors, So maybe not, the turnaround for a cure may not be 10 years or 20 years, but the survivorship is going up. Right. And that's what's truly important too.
I know Johanna, she said that she's a breast cancer survivor for 20 years.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yes.
But we
it's
have
amazing.
Survivors here that are celebrating 20 years.
Yes, it's amazing. Yeah. And just to give you some statistics, a lot of people think, women, breast cancer, it's probably the leading cause. And I was actually able to go down to Atlanta to our headquarters a month ago, and we had our medical officer speak to us, and he actually informed us that the leading cause of cancer in both men and women is lung cancer. And the second leading cause of cancer in women is breast cancer. So a lot of people, have these misconceptions. Yeah. So, and I think it's so important that, again, the money that you're raising is also going to these initiatives. So, for instance, last month was Colorectal Cancer Month. And we had a pledge with all of our local hospitals, because all of our local hospitals are engaged with the American Cancer Society, and they pledged that it had an 80% screening rate for colorectal cancer. And a lot of our hospitals reached it. That all the doctors signed a pledge, and they reached it. And it's amazing because all these screenings and any kind of early detection is making survivorship so much more attainable.
That is the cure. Is early detection, and that's why even being here at Relay for Life, we're encouraging people to really go and get your check. I know I'm overdue, and I'm like, but I'm like, okay, listen, I know I need to go too.
Yeah.
But So, anything last remarks about American Cancer Society?
I think that we need the money. Bring us money. Send us money. You can send us money.
Yeah. I think you can still donate until August.
Yeah, so the Clifton Relay for Life page is relayforlife.org/Clifton, New Jersey. So if you wanted to make a donation, you can go there. And just something to know about the American Cancer Society, we're very transparent. You can go on our website. You can relieve so much. You can see exactly where all of our money goes, the percentages. You can even see probably a breakdown of specific cancers. A lot of people ask us, I want my money to go specifically to this or specifically to pediatric cancer. And we have programs to put in place if you wanted to restrict your donation possibly to a specific cancer. So we make things happen, and we're truly here to support the community because that's what it's all about. We honor and we remember all those people that we've lost. And it's so sad, but events like this give us a way to kind of grieve and come together. And then we are so proud of all of our survivors. Just watching the survivor. If you've never gotten a chance to go to a relay, please go to a relay. We have amazing survivor lap that kicks off the day. And it's really just a way to celebrate the hardships that they've gone through and the support. And so on behalf of the American Cancer Society, we're so grateful to towns like Clifton, New Jersey, who've been doing this for 15 years. And as a former resident, somebody who grew up here, I'm so proud to be here today. I mean, could you have gotten a nicer day? I mean,
It's always hot. You're like loaded with sunscreen.
yes,
So, yes.
sunscreen. And that's another thing. Get detection. If you're of the certain age, go on our website and look at the certain ages that you're supposed to get your screenings, whether it's colon cancer, rectal cancer, breast cancer. And if you're sitting in the sun like we are, wear sunblock. Melanoma is a really big issue. So go to your doctor. Don't be afraid to go to your doctor. Get your blood work. Get your early screenings, because it's really, really going to make that survivorship go up and lower the rates of cancer deaths, which is our goal.
I think that like your insurance company allows you to have one screening. Some of those you have to call your insurance company. It's not like you have to pay for it. Your insurance company wants you to get checked. So call them and see what they cover.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper for them to cover it early than it is later. So call your insurance companies, visit our website, check out what those key ages are, and make sure you're getting your screenings, because it takes maybe 2 hours of your day, but it's so important. It'll save your life. It's so important. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Amanda. This was fun. See, it wasn't too bad.
I love talking.
So let's go back to Relay. So I'm here with Ryan, and he's our event lead for the Relay for Life of Clifton. And we've had our opening ceremony and stuff like that. But I just want to have a conversation with Ryan, because we met at our meet and greet, one of our fundraisers that we did early in the year. And talking with Joe Cologe before, just encouraging people to go out to those events during the year and then come to Relay and have a party. That's what we're doing here. So, Ryan, you did a really great job getting us here. $49,000 is a lot of money. And it took a whole crew of people, and these people have been relaying for over 15 years. No, 15 years here. So filling shoes, you got big shoes to fill to, lead us as team captains, your committee. So I just want to say thank you so much for taking the torch, because I don't think anyone's ever done this by themselves. So you did, and you didn't stop. So $49,000, and we're still growing. So the name, how did you really get involved in this? So let's just tell that, I don't know, how'd you get involved in this?
So it started in August of 2017. My father was diagnosed with lung cancer, and he had only a very short battle. He went through 2 surgeries, and within 3 months, on October 30th of 2017, he passed away from lung cancer. So after the shock of that started to wear off, and it became March of 2018, my family and I were talking about ways that we could honor his memory. And we didn't know exactly what walks we could go and do, so we researched different things online, and I came across online Relay for Life of Clifton. Came down to the meet and greet where I met Kim and other members of the team, and they said, why don't you come down to the walk, see what it's about, and see what you think. So I came down to the walk last year, and my mom and I came, we walked some laps, and then we came back for the Luminaria ceremony, and the Luminaria ceremony had such a meaningful impact on me that I said when we left that night that this was what I wanted to do for his memory. And so we decided to get involved, and we said we would form a team, and that's what we did. And early on, I had just formed the team, and American Cancer Society had reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in being the event lead. I wholeheartedly said yes, and then thought, well, what does that really mean? And so, the first year you're just thrown into the fire, but I've had a lot of wonderful people here that have helped and guided me, and I've made mistakes, but I've also learned a lot. And I know that this is such a great organization, and every dollar that is raised goes to the Cancer Society and will help us in this fight. So it doesn't matter whether you can raise $1, whether you can raise $1,000, every dollar becomes meaningful. So all throughout the year, people have been doing a lot of fundraisers. We do a lot of dine and donate. I have done a beefsteak dinner, and I do a lot of sporting events. And we put those events out on our Facebook page, and then we also have it out in the Clifton Journal, the Clifton Magazine.
So go to those events.
Yes. So, please come out and help support the cause. You may not be able to, donate a lot of money, but come on out, have a meal, and some camaraderie with those who are fighting the fight, and learn more about what Relay for Life is and the American Cancer Society, and what programs we can help and offer you in order to maybe help you as you battle this disease, or help you when you have a loved one who is going through battling this disease. So it doesn't, you always have to come down to the walk, but come out and look at these fundraisers. Go to the Facebook page, look at the Clifton Journal.
It's called Clifton Relay, right?
Yes.
Clifton Relay. So if they want to go on the Facebook, it's the Clifton Relay. And again, we're not stopping. We're not stopping. So I know Clifton doesn't stop relaying. Chris Lisner is our leader in fundraising as far as getting the events going. So I don't think she stops. Maybe for Christmas. And if she could do something Christmas, she would. But I think that's what we were saying is, you may not want to come down to this. This may not be for you. But go to those fundraising events, because it's we're like a tight-knit family here, and you're really coming right into that. And you can see how everybody's really close to each other. And you know what? Some of us are still grieving. So, talk a little bit about the grieving. I know that you just got thrown in this, and you have a team, and it's called Fighting Jeffries. How has that kind of helped you grieve through the year, knowing what you're doing? How has that helped you in the grieving process? Because you're still freshly grieving.
Yes.
You're still in the 2 years.
Yes.
Right? You're still not done grieving. So how has this helped you?
It's helped a lot, because I know that while I can't bring my father back, I can help prevent another person. And I have a 3-year-old son, so hopefully when he grows older, we have found a cure for this disease, and that we don't have people who have to go through what my father had to endure, what others have had to endure, or those who go through it, go into remission, and unfortunately it comes back again, and they have to go through that whole entire process again. So from that perspective, I want to try to make the difference that while one day I may not see the cure, but somebody else will see a cure in the future, and nobody will have to deal with what we're going through.
Right, because we're all grieving. Everyone here, a lot of us are grieving, and this is our way of grieving, is doing something about it. And it feels good, even though I know tonight is going to be tough. It really is. If we had to do this tonight, we probably wouldn't be able to talk. So, and I just really appreciate, Ryan, everything that you're doing to keep this alive in Clifton. We are really behind you on this, and I do the entertainment. I did the best I could. I always bring it, yes. Right? It always comes. So, so let's just go back to this. And I really appreciate everything that you're doing. And any last words?
Thank you, Kim. And while people may give me the credit, none of this is possible without the great team captains and event leadership team and the volunteers who come down to help us at these events. So while I may get the accolades, it's really just because of them. So I accept the congratulations on behalf of everyone else.
Awesome. And if you want to get involved in our Relay for Life, just go to the website, right? Go to our website or go to the Facebook. Do we email somebody?
You can either email myself. My email is D as in David, V as in Victor, ORAK18 @yahoo.com. And also, if you go onto our main page for the American Cancer Society, you will have email addresses for our rep, Jesse Butel, and there's also other emails on there where you can reach out and learn about programs that the American Cancer Society has for people who are going through this disease.
Right. Okay, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome. Nice, thank you. That was awesome. I know, we're going good.
And everyone says the same thing. It's a shame. But what today is about is people who aren't saying it's a shame. They're saying, I need to do something about it. And so you've got people that are going out and fundraising from a grassroots level, whether it's $5, whether it's $100, it doesn't matter. All those dollars start to add up.
Right.
And it's not like this is a fundraiser where it's staying local. This is a fundraiser where this money is going out to find a cure. And when I think about my father who died of liver cancer 1981, and from the time he was diagnosed to the time he passed away, 6 months. And when the doctors caught it, they'd said to him, 6 months. And now we find stories of people with liver cancer. Here we are 40, 50 years later, 18 months, 24 months.
My brothers were 4 years.
And so I think that's the point. We can't give up. A cure is not going to happen overnight. We're going to continue to progress towards it. And so it may not be our generation. It may not even be my boys' generation. It may be their generation that doesn't have to face this awful illness. But the fact that you've got people who are united and aren't willing to give up and are willing to fight back and are willing to do the hard work and raise money so that we can keep marching forward, that's what today's all about.
Yeah, so for those of you watching, we're here with Joe Kaloje from Clifton, and Joe, you've lost a lot of family members. So, and this year, Jenny, Joe,
Yes.
is your sister. So, and we did a memorial walk for her, and you had so many people here supporting her, and you raised $5,000 in a short amount of time too. So tell us a little bit about Jenny. Without crying.
So, yes, without crying. That's going to be the hard part.
I know.
The amount of people you saw show up to this track today are a testimony to my sister Jen. She touched a lot of lives in a lot of different respects. From being a coach, to being a sister, to being a mother, to being a wife, to being an aunt. And if there was one thing that embodied Jen the most, it was always this selfless giving. She always had this need to make sure that other people's needs were met before hers. And then the one thing that meant the most to her were little ones. Little kids. It was so important to her. When I had my sons 3 years ago, she brought over a plaque for me to hang up in my house that said, "Excuse this mess, we're busy making memories."
Oh, I love that.
And that sort of summed up my sister Jen.
Wow.
She just always had a knack of putting a smile on someone's face. She just always had a knack of understanding when people needed something. One of my brother-in-law's favorite stories was his 2 sons and Jen's 2 sons were going to the park to play. And Jen stopped off at a Kmart or a Target and she picked up Star Wars lightsabers. She pulls up to the park, opens up her trunk, and she has like 12 lightsabers. And Billy says to her, "There's just the 4 of us." And Jen said, "I didn't know if there was going to be other kids, and I didn't want a single kid to be left out." And that was Jen.
Wow.
So I think when we looked into that audience today and we saw people from who she met as a little girl to who she grew up with in the Athenia section to who she played soccer with and basketball with and softball with, it speaks to just how many lives that she wound up touching. In fact, I was talking with her friend Dolores, who she met in kindergarten, and it was my sister Jen's favorite story about our father. He's taking her to first day of school, and my sister Jen was very shy. So she's kind of tugging on his hand and saying, "I'm not sure I want to go." And he's like, "You got to go to school. It's first day of school." And she says, "I don't know anyone." And he says, "Nobody knows anyone. It's the first day of school." And she kept tugging on him and tugging on him. So my father looks out into the playground and he sees another little girl standing by herself and walks up there and says, "Excuse me, little girl, what's your name?" She says, "Dolores." She says, "Dolores, this is Jen. You're friends now."
Oh,
And then put them hand in hand and walked away. Dolores was here today.
wow.
And so, again, I just think it speaks to part of this is a celebration for the people we lost and to keep their memory alive.
Yeah.
But the other part of this is that there are people who say we should do something about it,
Right.
and there are people who showed up today and are putting their money where their mouth
Right.
is and doing something about
Right.
it. And as long as we stay united, we will one day find a cure.
We will. I mean, I know that Clifton. This is our relay. This is we've been relaying all year long. So our goal is 60,000. You may not see $60,000 here today, but it was a whole year of all of us fundraising and going out to all those events, and we're at $49,000 today. That's not all the money in yet. You didn't know that yet? We're at 49,000. This morning, 2,000 came in. We're like, who's my angels? Because though people are still putting money in, the people are coming and they're dropping off money. We still have till August. Like I said, I don't know how we could talk to the Clifton community, especially because this does go on the Clifton Public Access TV. How can we really keep this alive? How do we keep our relay alive here in Clifton? You got any insight? I mean, really, that's a hard question.
No, it is a hard question.
But we need to start looking at this. We really believe in the American Cancer Society. I've had them here talking earlier, and we are, funding. They are funding 6 grants in New Jersey, 800 worldwide. So it's kind of like there's a lot of money out there, but how do we get Clifton back on fire?
I think Clifton is a working community. I think between getting tugged to taking kids to soccer practice and getting them to school, and it's hard to find a moment to breathe. But the truth is that, like I said, this disease has touched everyone.
Right.
You ask anyone, they'll know someone who died of cancer. And I think we just need to reach out to them and find a way to make it convenient and let them know that, it doesn't have to be a all-out fundraiser. Go get $5,000. Catch a Bruno's night.
A Bruno's night, Uno's, a breakfast, an Applebee's. There's so many. There's bowling. There's
you need to feed your family anyway.
Yeah.
And all these great businesses in Clifton are willing to support this cause and give 20% of the proceeds back to the American Cancer Society. Make it pizza night that night.
Right. And that's how we're going to do it.
And I think that's how we reach working class, busy families with I've got to buy food anyway for my kids.
Let's going out to dinner.
Why don't I try and double that up?
Right.
And help a good cause at the same time.
Thinking about that is kind of like, so now I'm seeing it. This is our second year where we did a lot of restaurant stuff, but we've always made a lot of money. So the restaurant work is working. It's blessing what? It's helping the business, local business, right? They're getting money. They're drumming up business. We're getting the money, and we're supporting the American Cancer Society, and we're fellowshipping.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I love going out and seeing the community showing up at those events. So we're also touching lives all year long. So maybe this is what, Relay looks different now. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to think, what is going on? We're looking for a track that's packed, but you didn't see the restaurants that were packed all year.
Exactly.
Right?
That is exactly
so
right.
Let's not be discouraged, but when we start fundraising, and there's one out there, and they're in the papers. They're all, if you look on your Facebook events, you'll find a Relay for Life in Clifton event. Yes. You can even go to a bar. And they're doing something. I'm not suggesting you do that, but I'm saying, come on, everybody. So any last little, any comments? I mean, I know, like I said, you've lost a lot of lives. I've lost them too, but we're here. Anything you just want to in honor of?
I think just as closing words, I know we're all busy. Believe me, I got 3-year-old twin sons. Life is busy and life is hectic. You got to make time, no matter how small the effort, because all those little pebbles start to add up into a big stone.
The $60,000. So the highest we've done here in Clifton is $100,000. So we're only $40,000 away from that. So so now we're shifting gears. Let's not get discouraged, but let's just still keep our fight here in Clifton. Keep our relay alive. You got to donate.
Yes.
So thank you so much. This was an honor, really honor for me. Thank you.
Take care.